Hello and welcome to Saturday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic. Now I've delayed my gratification for a couple of days, but the siren song that is Fistomafel's new puzzle has been calling to me, and I can no longer resist, basically. So today is the day when I get to try it. It's called Cavalry Archer, and it looks like it's a mixture of knights moves and arrows, which is befitting the title, and I'm quite pleased to note that it does seem to have a smiley face in the grid. I don't know if that's just me, but they're definitely eyes. This is a nose, and this is a smiley face. There, I've said it. Anyway, before I kick off and read you the rules, I have to congratulate some people because they've successfully finished our Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy Sudoku hunt over on Patreon. So very well done to Benjamin Toth, Steve Pike, Musical Coda, Matthias Levin, Craig Smith, Christopher Renahan, Eric Bill, Joshua Chang, Benny Banana, Scott Joss, Jacko Dreyer, Derek Bosch, Julia McCain, Melissa Stock, George White, Alex Edwards, Bremster, Nick Schwartz, Steve Swingle, Melanie and Felicity Matthews, John and Genevieve, Frank Noom, Matthew Boyd, Stuart McGregor, and Lee Dominy, all of whom have correctly done it. Very, very well done. If you're wondering what on earth I'm talking about, well, over on Patreon, which you can subscribe to for less than the price of a bad cup of coffee a month, we basically release lots of extra content, and our extra content as the monthly reward for June is this Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy hunt, and so many of you have been enjoying it. It is a thrill. So that's all that said. Now let's get to Fistomafel's puzzle. What are we dealing with today? Well, let me read you the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Cells separated by a knight's move in chess cannot contain the same digit. So we've seen this before. So let's imagine this square was a 1. Now, if a chess knight was in this position, it could jump to all of these cells, and therefore none of these cells, outlined in blue, could contain the digit 1. So, if we try and do that, they're a knight's move apart, and that's illegal in this puzzle. So don't do it, you'll get the puzzle wrong. Now, also, digits along arrows must sum to the digit in that arrow's circle. So look at this circle, for example. This circle will contain the sum of those 3 cells, i.e. that 3-cell arrow, and also the sum of that 2-cell arrow. So there's a little bit of logic we can see immediately. That 2-cell arrow and that 3-cell arrow must have the same sum, because those sums go into the same cell of the Sudoku. Do have a go. There is, Fistomafel, I should need to say no more. The guy is an absolute Sudoku genius. And the way to play is to click the link under the video. Now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, in fact, the cursor is on this circle, and that's the simple start I can see, is that those 3 squares have to all contain different digits. So imagine we put the lowest digit we can into those, 1 plus 2 plus 3, that's 6. So this square here has to be at least equal to 6. And that is probably... that seems to be as far as the arrows take us. Every other arrow, actually, every other arrow other than this one is a 2-cell arrow, isn't it? I hadn't appreciated that, but I think that is true. And 2-cell arrows are notoriously useless. So we must have to do something with knight's moves then. So, and probably what I'm expecting is something that uses knight's moves and arrows, because of course what you can't do, in fact it's this cell again, right, what you can't do is repeat a digit along its arrow. So where can this square go in box 8? And the answer is not in very many squares at all. By Sudoku it can't go in those. It can't repeat on its arrow, because if this was, say, an 8, you couldn't put 800 on the arrow, that just won't work. So it's not in any of those cells, and by knight's move logic, look, it's not there or there either, so it can only go here, and therefore we should colour those in. They are the same digit. Oh, hang on, I was about to write 6, 7, 8, 9 into here, but this can't be 9 now, because it's something plus this digit is equal to that digit. So obviously if this is 9, that will be a 2-digit number, which is impossible. So we can remove 9 from there. This square must be greater than 6, so it's 7, 8 or 9. That square's 1, 2 or 3. Purple now can't go in this cell in box 9 because that's a knight's move away from its friend. So purple is locked into one of 2 positions. Now, maybe purple in box 5, look, it can't go there, there, there. Ah, no, that's no use. It can go still go in 4 places. This digit. I'm going to actually colour this digit, because in Knight's Move Sudoku you often find that if a cell can go in 3 positions in a box, it might still be useful. So whatever goes in that square, I'll use yellow today for a change, it can't go in any of those squares, so it's got to be in one of those 3 positions. And the reason this can matter is, think for example about this cell now. This cell cannot be yellow, because if it is, it's ruled out of those 2 and that one, which is it's surprising, and that's why it's probably worth notating. So what can we do with this one? This one is a little bit restricted in box 9. Look, it can't go in the cross because of the knight's move constraint. It's not the same as this digit, which is on its arrow. So again, those 3 squares are the same as that one. Ooh. We're going to get some dual colouring here. I'll use blue. Okay, this is not actually going very well, is it? I'm sure there must be something else we can do. Probably this circle, because it's got so many arrows leading off it. But let's check this one first. This one, yeah, okay. This one is restricted in box 1 because it can't repeat on its arrow. It can't go there by Sudoku. It's those 2, sees those 2 by knight's move. So this one and those 2 squares are the same. Or one of these 2 squares is the same as this one. Which might matter in... No, okay. Green is in one of 4 places in box 2. This... Ah, yeah, okay, sorry. This square here has the same geometry as regards box 2 as this cell has in relation to box 1, look. So where does this square go in box 2? The answer to that is it can't go on its arrow, it can't go in those by knight's move, and it can't go there, so it must go in one of those 2 squares. Ah, right, here we go. Red, whatever red is more restricted in box 3 than green was in box 2 because of the addition of this arrow. So this arrow is forcing red to only be in this domino. So red in box 6 can't repeat on its arrow. Oh, good grief. Right, okay. Hang on, have we got this right? Yeah, where does... Ah, no. I was just about to say I've broken the puzzle, but I haven't broken the puzzle. I've now proved that red is equal to blue. Where does red go in box 6? It's not there. It's not on its own arrow. It's not here by Sudoku. It can't be in those 2 squares because those 2 squares are a knight's move away from red. So it must go in this square. So shall we... Does red trump blue or does blue trump red? I think red trumps blue. So let's get rid of blue now. And this square has become red. So this square is now a 7, 8 or 9. And now... What does that mean? Oh, well that's huge actually, of course, because now this domino is ruling out red from those squares. So red must go here, and that fixes purple as well. Good grief. Right, so red goes here, purple goes here, and red must be in one of these squares by Sudoku. Red Now, yeah, this is interesting. Where does red go in box 8? So it's not here by Sudoku. It can't be on an arrow that adds up to 6, 7 or 8 because red is greater than 6, 7 or 8 on this arrow. So red is not there. It's not there or there by Sudoku. So red is in that domino, which means red is in those 3 squares in box 7. And we have actually got a little bit of progress. So red... Or have we? 1 second, let me just think. This is a new purple, isn't it? I didn't have this before. Has that done something up there? Oh, this is right. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Where does purple go in box 6? And the answer is I don't quite know, but I do know it's not on this arrow. Because if purple is on this arrow becomes very interesting. Let's try it. Let's try and put purple here. What do we now know about this digit? Well, this arrow is telling us that mathematically purple plus yellow equals red. So this arrow would have to be purple plus a yellow equals red. So that would have to be yellow, and that's not going to work because we're going to get 2 yellows in column 7. So you cannot put purple on this arrow. And if you can't put purple on the arrow, and you can't put purple here because of the knight's move, you've got to put purple in those, and you've got to put purple in those. And now, if this is purple, now that actually might work. If you put purple there, that would be yellow, using the power of this arrow. And then yellow would go exactly here in box 6 because of the knight's move. And then yellow would go somewhere. Oh, I'm not sure we would know where yellow goes in box 5, but that looks quite persuasive, doesn't it? That a purple here would force yellow and yellow. Okay, so what shall we do now? We shall... I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do now. We've got to find some other digit somehow. Or at least... I only know anything about... Well, I know quite a lot about red. Maybe I can push red harder. Can I get red up here, maybe? I don't know what green is, so I can't say anything about red on this arrow. I don't see how to do anything else with red. I'm probably missing something. Purple is the next best digit. Purple I do know a lot about along the bottom. Purple in this box. Can't repeat on its arrow. Can't go there. Okay. Yes. Sorry. Purple in box 4. I don't know where it goes, but I do know it's definitely not in any of those 3 positions. So if we look at this carefully, purple's not there, it's not in those 2 by knight's move, and it's not here because it would repeat on its arrow. So purple is in one of those, and the critical thing I've noticed about that is, look, that's in the same rows as the purple in box 6. So the simple way to think about that is, where are we putting purple in row 6 of the grid? It's not in those cells. It's not in those cells. So it's in one of those 3 squares. Oh, no, it's not. It's there. Because it can't be in these, because this cell rules it out. Because, of course, of the knight's move constraint. So that's purple. Oh, that's a bit rotten. That's not done very much at all. Purple's got to be in one of those... no, I see. Sorry. I was maligning unfairly this naughty purple cell here, which was actually extremely useful because it forced purple into these 3 squares. Now, why do I think this is interesting? Well, this is a classic Knight's Move Sudoku technique. You can see these stripes of purple here. Now, the question to ask is whether that square can be purple, because the answer is no, it can't. Because, of course, if this is purple, none of those 3 squares in this stripe could be purple because of the Knight's move. And the same logic works this way round. That can't be purple because it would break those 3 squares. Now, if those 2 squares can't be purple, where do we put the purple in this row? And the answer is not here, look. Ah, and the answer is not here either, because if that was purple, where would we put purple in this sort of corner here? The answer is nowhere, because this purple sees those 2 and that one by Knight's move. So that's not purple, which means that one is purple. Which means these 2 are not purple because this one sees those 2. This is just stunning. And this has become purple. This purple fixes that that's not purple. So this is purple. How many purples have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've done 7. I've just got this sort of X-wing of purples left to do in boxes 2 and 3. Now let's actually write some options in for purples and take a stare and see if this is telling us anything. I don't think it is my first at first blush. Oh, you know what? This, oh goodness, I've probably missed something very basic. This is a 6, 7 or an 8. So what do we know about a 3-cell arrow that's adding up to 6, 7 or 8? It's got to have a 1 on it. Oh, Simon. Oh, you are a complete numpty. Does that matter? Maybe not, actually. It doesn't seem to do anything. Oh, that's a relief. I thought I'd missed a really basic deduction there. I was getting carried away with my colouring. And now I've got distracted from my colouring. I can't remember. I've just done lots of purpling. Purpling is almost complete, isn't it? Purpling is almost complete. But I've got to... What I was thinking before is it's going to have to be something with the arrows that's going to sort of determine the sizes of the relative digits. So red is yellow plus purple. Red is... so there's a yellow in one of those 2 squares. Good grief. Okay, hang on. You see this? Yeah, look at this square. I don't know which of those is purple, because the purples are either going to be those 2 squares or these 2 squares. But one of these is purple, and we know from the purple, from this arrow, the mathematics of the magic sort of side smile here, we know that red is yellow plus purple, so there must be a yellow in one of those. Sorry, also, where does yellow go in this box? It's not there by Sudoku, it's not here. It's not here, so yellow is in a domino there. Yellow's in one of those 3 squares. No, it doesn't work. I was about to say, and yellow's in one of those 2, but actually that's fine. This could still absolutely be yellow. Oh, that's really strange. There's something going on here, isn't there, with these? If this was yellow, this would be yellow. If this is yellow... Oh, you get a yellow here, look. And there. So if this is yellow, you probably get even more than if that's yellow. And to know which of these is yellow, you've got to know which of these is purple. Which would be disambiguated if we knew this was red. So for that to be red, this needs to be red. Which means this is not red. Oh! Well, that's definitely not red, because if that's red, we reach a paradox. And the paradox is that here we know for sure that purple is less than red because of this arrow. If I put red here, I would be saying that red at the is simultaneously less than purple. That doesn't work. Ah, good grief. So this is red, that's not red, and we've backed into something rather clever here, because now this is red, and look, how are we going to fill the purples in the last two boxes? The only place for purple now in box 2 is here. So this is not purple, these two are purple, and now we know that this has to be yellow because of the mathematics of this arrow. So that's become yellow. So this is not yellow, and it's getting quite complicated. But this yellow means something in box 8, because now these can't be yellow. And so yellow is there, and now yellow in box 5 can't be here because that's a knight's move away from yellow. So yellow is there, and now I was about to say yellow's got to be up there, but that's not right, because we could absolutely have a red on top of a yellow in box 4. Okay. What does this mean? Oh, I know one thing it means. This red is seeing that square. So we know where the red goes in box 4 now. So red is not there. Oh, huge. Right, where does red go in box 1? Red is not there. It's not in any of these because of the knight's move, ruling out these two cells. It's obviously not there because red and purple are different. And this red sees that square. So red is there, which is on an arrow. Red is not here, therefore. How many reds have we done? Oh, 1, 2, 3. We've done all. We've redded the grid. The grid is redded. The grid is purpled. What is red? Oh, red is 7, 8. Red is not 9. Red is definitely not 9 anymore. Oh, this is very interesting all of a sudden. Green, we have discovered, is higher than red because red is on its arrow. So now we can say that red can't be 9. So red is 7 or 8. So green is 8 or 9. And if red is 7 or 8, purple can't be 8, because we have to add a digit to purple to get to red. So purple is 6 or 7. This guy is he is just stunning, isn't he? Now, that square is a 1 or a 2 now. So green and red. This square's a 1 or a 2 because 6 or 7, we've got to get from 6 or 7 to 7 or 8. So we can no longer have 3 here. So yellow is 1 or 2 everywhere it appears. Yellow is not right. Yellow is not the same as this one. So this is a different colour because these are a knight's move apart. So this is just beautiful. Right, okay. I now think I know something about purple that I didn't know before, because the question we should ask ourselves is purple 7? And the answer is no. And why is that the answer? The answer to that is because 1 does not equal 2. Because if purple is 7, yellow must be 1 in order to make sure that this square has a valid option. So remember that. If purple is 7, yellow is 1. Red becomes 8. So red would be 8. What digit do we put in blue in order to make this have a valid entry? The answer is it's going to only be 1 again. But we can't make we can't make these two both equal 1. It just won't work. So yeah, I see. Another way to view this is that to get from purple to green, we have to use a 1 and a 2 in some order. We don't know what that order is, but we have to use a 1 and a 2. Therefore, purple is 6 and green is 9. Oh, that is just beautiful. It reminds me actually of a Fistemafell puzzle I did recently using, I think it was thermometers. And you had to sort of tie all the thermometers together. And this time he's done the same thing with arrows. It's just as much fun as you can have doing Sudoku, frankly. Now, do we know what red is as a result of this? No is the answer. We don't, actually. So red can still be 7 or 8, depending on which way round the yellows and the blues unwind. So, what does that mean? But now, I know what it means. I've now got a 6. I've got a 3-cell arrow adding to 6. Those have got to be 1, 2, and 3. I've also... Right. Let us take a look at this arrow, which also adds to 6. Now, any arrow that adds to 6, where we can't make it double 3, and you definitely can't make this arrow double 3, must have a 1 or a 2 on it. It's either 1, 5 or it's 2, 4. But this arrow sees yellow in its row. So this arrow must contain blue, and the blue there tells us where the blue goes. That's blue. So blue is down there in box 7. Blue is almost locked into somewhere useful in box 5. Oh, but better than that. This cell sees blue and yellow, so it can't be 1 or 2. That square is a 3. This square, therefore, is not 3, and it is blue. Which means blue is not there anymore. And blue is not here anymore, so blue's locked in box 7. Blue is in one of those two squares in box 9. I'll definitely notate that. And yeah, I don't quite know what this arrow is, or this one. If we knew what this was, we could maybe restrict these arrows a little bit. Hang on, let me just stare at this. It's all getting quite colourful. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write 7s and 8s into those squares, just so I can see them a bit better in terms of what we need to do. So we've got... I can see those two squares. I could colour those two squares with 4s and 5s, actually. That's probably going to be what we have to do. Because look, we've got a 6 arrow here that's adding yellow to something to get 6. So let's imagine yellow's 1, this will be a 5. But that if yellow's 1, this will be a 2, and therefore this will be a 4. So these two digits are different. So we'll make that one... Oh, I'm running out of colours here. What colours is it going to be safe for me to use? I have not used orange, and I've not used grey. I'll make this one grey, I think, because it's next to a red, and that one's next to a red as well. Okay, I've chickened out of that. I'm going to make this one orange, and I'll make that one grey. Okay. So where does orange go in box 5? This is a good trick for Knight's Move Sudoku as well. The sort of central square that's alongside a box so these 4 would be the key squares to consider around box 5, is always incredibly powerful because it locks out these 2 squares and those 3. So that square can only go there in the box, and that's a 4 or a 5, which means that square is not 4 or 5, and that one of those 2 is orange. Can we do something similar with grey? Grey's got to be in one of those 3. Maybe no. Orange is in one of those 2 in box 4. But yeah, okay. Well, let's continue with the idea around central squares around boxes. What is that square actually? Because this square has to fit in to one of the 4 corner squares of box 5 because of Sudoku. So let's imagine whatever this square is, let's rule out it can't go into those 3 squares and it can't go into those 2 squares. So whatever goes in this square has to either be red. Well, it's not red. Red's already appeared in box 4. It could be 6. It can't be 6 because 6 has already appeared in box 4. So this square here is actually either orange or yellow as a sort of, you know, if I was center pencil marking this with colour, it would be a yellow-orange cell. So I don't really know how to do that. I'll put that in like that. And I'll take, shall I take that one out? I'm going to get into trouble here. Or maybe I should center pencil mark it with the options and remove the yellow. Yeah, that might be better. It's either got to be yellow or it's orange. Oh, good. Right. Sorry. Now, this square as well. Let's do exactly the same with this square, which also sees 6 and red in its box. So this square is either orange or yellow for exactly the same reason, and therefore, right, now I'm happy. I'm going to create an orange-yellow pair in row 5. Another strange sentence from Cracking the Cryptic, but this is huge because now that square can't. Oh no, it's easy. It's not. It's huge and easy because this square cannot be yellow. It sees yellow. So from the central box, this is forced to be yellow or orange, but from column 7, it's forced not to be yellow. Sorry, this is just orange. Therefore, this is not orange. Therefore, it's 1 or 2. This square is not yellow anymore. So that's a 1 or a 2. This is a 4 or a 5. Now orange is here in box 4. We've not put 3 in. 3 is in one of those 2 squares, along with whatever red isn't. So if this was 7, you'd have to put 3, 8 here. If this is 8, this is 3, 7 here. So these are 3, 7 or 8. And, right, sorry, let me just think about this now. What exactly have I learned from this? I've got a 4, 5 on an arrow now that I didn't have before. And that's adding up to 7 or 8. Aha! That's quite interesting, isn't it? What are we going to put in this square? The answer is very few digits indeed. It's a 2. It can only be a 2. This square can never be a 1 because you can't add 1 to 4 or 5 and get 7 or 8. So 1 is ruled out. 2 will work. 3 is impossible. There's a 3 over here. If we put 4 in here, what are we putting in there? That's 5. That's 9, which we can't add up to. It's too many. So this can only be 2. And this means that 2 is not equal to yellow, which is now 1. And that must be important. So those all turn into 1s. 2 is blue. We can make it blue. So 2 becomes blue. Oh, I've made a mistake. Oh no, that should be okay, shouldn't it? That's implying to me that this is the last blue possibility in box 5. Yeah, okay, that's right. That's right, by Sudoku. This is the last blue possibility, so we can get rid of blue from there. This is blue. This is blue. That seems to have to be blue. So blue is in that domino in box 3. Oh, but this is profound. Look, it's done everything. The puzzle is, I'm almost going to say solved, but it might be actually, because now we now know orange. Orange is 5. I can't double click it because it's going to fill in 5s in the dominoes that I've not disambiguated, but that's got to be 5. Now red, look, has to be 7. Red, I think I have got no dominoes, so I can do that in a flurry. Yeah, and that's working, look, with blue. So 7 plus 2 is equal to 9. And all of a sudden, we're actually getting somewhere profound. Okay, this grey is 4 now, because we've actually locked it in. This is a 3-8 pair. This square here is a 4 just by Sudoku. This column needs 3, 8 and 9. Well, where does 3 go in it? 3 can't go in those two squares because of the knight's move. 3 goes in the middle. These two squares are 8 and 9. I don't think we have any 8s in the grid, is that right? It is right, and this 9 doesn't reach them, so I don't think we can do that yet. Okay. So where do we look next? Where does 3 go? In box 6. It can't go here by knight's move. It must go there. Which means 3 is in one of these two positions in box 9. 3 is in one of those two positions in box 3. We've got a 7 arrow. I've not used this. Oh, right, this is lovely. Right, look at the arrow here. Now, yellow and blue, which are 1 and 2, are not on the arrow. So the only way this arrow adds up is if it's a 3-4 arrow, and we can see that the 3 has to be there by Sudoku. So that's 3. In fact, this can't be 4 because it would see 4 on knight's move as well. So that's a 3-4 pair. That's not 3. 4 is grey. Let's colour it in. Oh, don't know why all these are grey. I don't think they should be. 3 has never been assigned a colour, so bad luck. Those two squares have got to include a 4. Now there's probably going to be all sorts of knight's moves I'm going to miss here. What's this column? It needs 4s, 8s and 9s. Oh, okay. I don't know if we can do that. What we can do is R square 3 goes in box 2. Can't go there, can't go there, can't go there by knight's move. That's a 3. And that means, and 3 is not orange. Orange is 5, so 5 goes in as well. And we can get rid of the colour from this cell. 3 is not fixed up here. 5. Oh, 5 must be doable, is it? Oh, maybe it's not, actually. I'm not sure whether 5's doable. It's got to go in one of those two squares. I can't see if I can disambiguate that. 5 over here has to be in this domino. So 5 down here is fixed because it can't be here by knight's move and it can't be there by Sudoku. So 5 goes here. This means 5 is in one of those 3 squares. It's not here, so 5 is in this domino. Oh, and this 5... Oh, for goodness sake, Simon. This 5 is seeing that by knight's move. No doubt you shouted at me. I'm shouting at me, really. If I could go back in time, I would shout at me about that one. So that's a 5. That's not 5. This look at row 2. It needs 8s and 9s into it. And the 9 can only go there. The 8 must go here. Therefore, the 5 must go here. And we can get rid of the colour. I don't know if I ever coloured 8s. No, because I didn't get any of them in the grid. but I did colour 9s with greens, so let's do that. 9 has to be, look at this, 9 has to be in that domino, and that sees that square, so that gets us an 8 in the middle, a 9 here, an 8 to finish that. This column needs 4, which that can't be a 4, it sees that one. So that must be a 9, and that must be a 4. 9's a green, 4's a grey. This is a 9 by the power of Sudoku. These must be 4 and 8, which is almost certainly resolved by something I can't see. This column maybe, let's have a look. We need 4 again. That keeps making an appearance. And there's a 4 here, so that's got to be 4. That's got to be 8. That one gets shaded. Those two squares are going to be 9 and 4 again. 4 here tells us how we do that. So 9 and 4. Change the colour of that one. 9, 9. 9 can't go here because if knight's move, 9 goes there. That turns green. Now this row looks rather good for putting a 1 in. 1 is yellow. Oh, so yellow's in one of those two. I'm not sure if I can do that. Now what about that column though? That column needs 4 and 3 in it. Oh, beautiful. Right, what can't you put in this square? The answer is 4. If you put 4 here, it sees both those squares because of the knight's move. So that's 3. That's 4. That gets its colour. This needs 1, 4, and oh, surely I've done all the 4s. No, I haven't actually. 4's in one of those. Yeah, okay, so where does... You can see these squares here are a 1, 4 pair. Because of this 4 here. Therefore this square can't be green. This square becomes the green 9. Not sure what the most efficient way of doing this is. Let's have a look. 1s, 2s and 8s over there. Does this square see anything useful? It doesn't. I don't believe it. I don't think it does. These two squares then. They are a 2, 8 pair. Yes. Where does 8 go in this column? This 8 sees that square. So that's 8. That's 2. That 8 has taken the position of a blue. And a blue is a 2. So that's a 2. That's a 1. Get rid of the colour from this square. This becomes its own colour. This 1 is seeing the 1 and the 4. That's a 4 and an 8. Let's correct the colours over here. I won't leave them wrong. I'll get into trouble if I do that as well. So it's going to be 3s and 8s that don't have colours. That 9 should be green. That 9 should be green. This box must be doable now. Let's check this. So we need 3 and 8 into those squares. What's doing that? Is anything disambiguating it? Surely there is. Oh, that's 3 and 8 as well. So something's got to fix this, or we've got real trouble. Oh, please don't tell me I've made a mistake here. No, where does 9 go? 9 can only go here now. And this is 3 or... this 3 is doing it, look. This 3 is seeing that square. So that's got to be 8. That's 8. That's 3. That's 3. That's 8. And that should be... that's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion at the very end. 3s and 8s are the only uncoloured digits. We click tick. Yes, that is just superb. It's just a brilliant Sudoku puzzle, isn't it? Good grief. So let's just recap how that worked. So basically at the start, it was a lot of colouring to try and narrow down purple, wasn't it? Purple, red, and eventually we worked out that red was on the same arrow as green. And we had to keep bearing in mind that this relationship, the relationship between red and purple on this arrow, that was so important. And then after that, the 6s became powerful because we could colour the 1s and 2s, which led to colouring of the 4s and 5s, which led to box 5 and this magnificent stuff around the edge here, which gave me this yellow-orange, the oranges and the lemons, and the bells of St. Clement's in row 5. And that was disambiguated by this, and from there, I think I finally managed to do it. It's just crazy, absolutely crazy. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I do enjoy reading them, especially when they're kind, and they don't have a go at me too much for missing the bleeding obvious, to quote Basil Fawlty. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it even a little bit as much as I did. Thanks so much to Fistamafel, and thank you for watching. We'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.